Today we are discovering what secrets Survivor Game Changers did not tell us in the edited television show. What is great is how the official DVD and Blu-ray releases of each season of Survivor contain some secrets that are game related, some that are personal thoughts, and some that are just plain silly, and we will even find out the truth about what really happened when Cirie tried to steal Sarah's advantage, because there's a lot more than what they showed us on the show. Basically, as long as it isn't part of the show that aired on television, it is fair game to be considered a secret, and while most of the secrets here are focused on season 34 Game Changers, some of them do apply to Survivor as a whole. So with that, I want to thank you for watching what I make and ultimately supporting what I do here with liking, commenting, and sharing. For only a few bucks a month on Patreon, you can pick what videos I make, watch all this channel's content early, chat with other fans of the show, and even get exclusive videos every month. Thank you for your support. Heads up, this list contains the secrets that I personally found to be the most interesting. So with that, let's count all 47 of them in absolutely no particular order. Number 1, the cast for Game Changers is half questionable, I would say. There will be quite a few secrets discussing what Jeff and the players think about this, but in the meantime, was there anyone who was considered for the cast but just didn't make the cut? Actually, yes, there is one player who was considered.
And that's really what it came down to with Carolyn. Absolutely, she was in the running. She was in the running until the very end. And she's gonna hate hearing that she was in the running, which is good for Carolyn because it means we will get her back out there again. And typically, people who get passed over and finally end up coming back always say the same thing. I'm so glad it was this season.
Number 2, this next one wasn't even shown in a secret scene despite its obvious importance to the game. Sarah, Brad, and Troyzan all made a final 3 pact at the final 6 in a way that I'm not sure Monica from season 27 would approve of.
At the final 6, at our pasta dinner, Brad, Troy, and myself sat down and we basically made a deal. And what doesn't get shown is like we literally like swapped jewelry. I had Brad Culpepper's wedding ring.
Wait,
and
really?
Yes, and I give him this bracelet, and Troyzan gives me one of his bracelets, and somehow I have both their items and they only have one of mine, and I'm like, how does this work out? But great. And so I knew at that point, like, he loves his wife so much that I have his wedding ring. I told him I'd throw it in the ocean if he voted me out.
Number 3, I always wondered what the winners of each season do with their money. Do they spend it all on furs and cars? Do they wisely invest it? Or do they buy Rihanna shower curtains? That last one is a real secret from Winners at War. I didn't make it up. Anyways, what did Sarah do with her $1 million?
Now, you're a millionaire. What are you going to do with the money?
Okay, honestly, the first 10% is going to church. I think Wyatt and I are going to build a home, and then the rest is going to go to like retirement. Boo. But
Number 4, what spawned an all-returnee season only a mere 3 seasons after Second Chances? Well, as it turns out, Jeff loved Second Chances so much that he was ready to do another one right away. That's right, he wanted Second Chances 2 for season 34. But the heads of CBS were like, yeah, let's give that one some time.
Well, really, the real original idea was I was so excited by the live audience vote for Second Chancers that I wanted to do it again, and so did a lot of our team. And CBS said, no, I think it's a little early. Let's wait on that. But we already had this great idea for Game Changers.
Yes.
So we said, okay, well, let's just do Game Changers anyway.
Number 5. So here we are. This is the first summer of Survivor being in this location of Fiji. As of the time of this video, they have been here now for 10 seasons. And Jeff says, man, I love it here. I wish we could stay here forever, which he's getting his wish.
This location, I mean, look at it. This is the best location we've ever had, ever. I would love to shoot here for the rest of Survivor's history.
Yes.
It's that good. The water clarity, amazing. The weather, the locals. It's a direct flight from LA. You can't beat it.
It's a little cushier than Cambodia, I'm not gonna lie.
Yes, Cambodia was the other extreme. Extremely hot and very tough.
Number 6. Don't we all love Jeff Probst's predictions? I know I do. Sometimes he's on the money and sometimes he is way off. But hey, he's just taking a guess like the rest of us do before the game even happens. But this secret is a 2-parter, so let's start with who his top 3 players are and who he predicts will win.
Top 3 that I'm gonna go with winning, ironically, are all women. Sandra, Cirie, and Ciara.
I want you to pick one player that's going to go all the way.
Cirie.
Okay, so here's the kicker. Jeff has picked Cirie, the first boot of this season, so she is clearly not going to win. But now the interviewer says, let's make a bet, Jeff. If your winner pick makes it further than my winner pick, then I will streak nude on this beach. But if my winner pick goes further than your winner pick, which hers does because she picks JT, then you have to run nude around this beach. And Jeff agrees to this, and I'm wondering, where's the video? Where's Jeff streaking nude on the beach?
We're gonna have a friendly bet.
Okay.
Loser has to streak the beach.
You would streak the beach?
Maybe.
Cirie Easton versus JT.
Okay.
Good luck.
Good
Can't
luck.
wait to see you naked.
Number 7. The tribal council where Malcolm was voted out was wild. People stood up and talked in a way that has never happened before, and actually, in season 4, the players were told no for wanting to do a very similar thing. Well, when Sarah heard about this, it blew her mind and made her change how she played the game that season.
I remember hearing about the Malcolm Tribal Council where they're like, yeah, and then people got up, and I was like, people got up? And they're like, I'm like, because Jeff's like that teacher that will hit you with the ruler if you move in your seat. Hearing that back, when I get up at the Michaela vote out, I'm like, wait, I'm allowed to do this, because had I not been allowed to do that, I don't know what would have happened. That allowed me to communicate with Brad and Troyzan to vote out Michaela, you know.
Number 8. Cirie trying to steal Sarah's advantage was iconic. It was a failed move, yes, but an iconic attempt nonetheless. Well, apparently what happened in real life was not as cut and dry as what we saw on the show, as Troyzan explains how Cirie tricked even Jeff into doing what she wanted until Troyzan said something.
When Cirie brought out advantage, she's, I'm going to steal that from Sarah. And Sarah went, oh my God, no, you stole that. And they went back and forth. Did you steal it? Did you not? Can you use it? Jeff was going back. Well, and they went for like a half an hour. And then Sarah said, well, okay, then fine. Okay, I guess I give up. Then if you're going to use it, you're going to use it. And Jeff was going to let it go. And I'm like, no. So I said, Jeff, I think I heard something. Can you have them reread that? It says it's non-transferable. You hear Jeff Probst go, oh, and it's non-transferable. I'm like, well, yeah, after I'd said it, and you don't see that.
Number 9. We have seen JT go from the chosen one in Tocantins to thinking he can still do no wrong in Heroes vs. Villains and failing, and then in Game Changers making a couple of boneheaded moves. So before this season even began, what did Jeff think about JT's chances of winning it all?
JT could win again. JT is, man, he's tough. He's a good old boy in the sense that he is such a hard worker, and he's charming, and he's got a chip on his shoulder. You never hear JT bragging about how he won. You hear him talking about his mistakes. I like that.
Number 10, Jeff Varner. Yeah, how he made this cast is beyond me since he never made the jury in his past 2 appearances, and yet here we are. We all know how his game ends this season, resulting in the first ever verbal vote out at Tribal Council. Usually verbal vote outs are reserved for special occasions like an immunity challenge going 12 hours or Brandon Hance going nuts. But Varner's was a whole different type of special. So before the season began, what did Jeff Probst think about Varner?
Varner was one of our very first picks for this season. What Varner is great at is moving you to his idea. He knows how to talk to everybody. If Varner can get with the right people, which I think would be other old schoolers, he would be an amazing winner.
Number 11. This next one is so cool, and I really had no idea they did this. But the Tribal Council set for this season did not use fake shipwrecks, contrary to what you might think. Oh no, these are very real.
The main theme is it's nautical, and there are these shipwrecks. There are 10 real shipwrecks, not built by us. These are shipwrecks.
Not props.
These are not props. And the majority of them are from the cyclone, Winston, that hit here right before we started filming. It's real.
It is real, and it is really, really awesome.
Number 12. Who doesn't deserve to be on this cast? I would argue about 7 or 8 of them at least. But hey, what do I know? I don't make the show. In the preseason, the players were all asked who they thought didn't deserve to be there, and while a few names are thrown about, one name definitely was mentioned more than others.
Haley Ford, I don't remember her doing anything.
Haley. I feel like everyone deserves to be here. Maybe, I do think, you look at someone like Haley.
Who doesn't deserve to be here?
Me.
You think so? Yeah.
Number 13. Should Haley be considered a game changer then? What did she do in Worlds Apart to be considered a game changer? I guess she at least made the jury, unlike Varner, so she's more qualified than him. But Jeff swears up and down she is a game changer, and here's why.
Haley to me is the dark horse to win. Haley was labeled a no caller and in some ways lived up to it. She didn't pull the trigger in ways that I think she wishes she could, but she is absolutely a game changer and somebody that I think will shock people with how she plays.
Number 14. While most players say one name for who they do not think deserves to be on this season, Tony has an entire list of people, and I love the brutal honesty here. Let me know if you agree with everyone he says.
Tall Cirie, I don't remember her doing anything. Jeff Varner, I don't remember him doing anything. Troyzan, I don't remember what he did. Brad Culpep, I don't remember what he did. I don't remember most of these people.
Number 15. The cast is then asked, who here is overrated? If you guessed that this question would lead to most players venting frustrations and looking a bit salty, then you would be right, as one name is said way more than any other.
Sandra.
Sandra. The most overrated player here would be Sandra.
Sandra overrated?
Number 16. What the heck was going through Tony's mind when he played this season? He looked like a crazed lunatic, which is fun, but it doesn't get him very far amongst a cast of returnees. They're not idiots. Well, after his much improved showing in Winners at War, here is how he explains his reasoning for Game Changers.
So when I went there and I seen who I was playing against, and there was only 2 other winners, I was like, come on, man, you threw 3 of us into a lion's den. They're gonna kill us, they're gonna tear us apart. So in my mind, I already knew I didn't have a chance. So I went into the game and I had all these fantasies that I wanted to fulfill out there before I got voted off. So that's why I went into the game like right away, just started doing my crazy nonsense.
Number 17. What do you think about players who have had multiple chances to play but haven't been able to pull off that elusive win? Are they better or scarier than less proven players? Well, Sarah has an interesting analogy that I am unsure if it works, but it made me laugh.
You look at like Ozzy and Malcolm, and they're huge fan favorites, but when you look at the grand scheme of it and you go, this is their 4th time playing. They've never won. If you've been married 4 times, would you be good at marriage?
Number 18. I wish we had footage for this one. Tony Vlachos and Theodore Roosevelt are not 2 people I ever thought I would be connecting in a thought or in a secret, and yet it happens because, as Varner explains, Tony was taking the former president's infamous quote to heart in the preseason.
Tony is walking around with a big stick. Like it almost feels like he's trying to intimidate people, which is having the opposite effect on me. I mean, who walks to a restaurant with a big stick?
Number 19. Remember when Caleb passed out in Co-Wrong? I go into a lot more depth on the subject in my Co-Wrong Secrets video, but Sandra remembers, and actually, because he passed out, she thinks less of him as a man.
Caleb is not tested, and I don't consider him one of my alpha males because if you can't drink enough water to stay hydrated, then I can't say that you'll survive in Survivor.
Number 20. This next secret would mean nothing if not for Winners at War. So if you haven't seen that season yet, then skip to the next secret because I'm doing some spoiling on that season. Okay, you've been warned. So Tony Vlachos says he would love to have 2 perfect wins and become the king of Survivor, and man, little does he know here what he will do later on.
Sandra's a 2-time winner with no blemishes on her record. I would love nothing more than to dethrone Sandra. We haven't had a king of Survivor in how many years? It's been a queen, Sandra. We've never had a king of Survivor. I want to take over that throne. I want to be King TV.
Number 21. Sandra thought Jeff hated her. For real. In her exit words after being voted out, she said him hugging her meant a lot to her, but it goes further than that, as they do have a heart-to-heart talk after Game Changers, and no, Jeff doesn't hate her.
They told me, hold up, Jeff is going to come and say something to you real quick. I couldn't wait to see him. I was like, yeah, you've been dying to do that crap for years because I know you hate me. And he was like, why would you say that? I was like, because the fans always say that, you always just love the male play. Like I told him the whole spill of things that I was reading, and he was like, you don't know how further from the truth that is. And then I was like, man, Jeff, I'm glad that I said something because I always thought like, he doesn't care for me. He, you feel some sort of way about how they're going to treat you, and it's opposite.
Number 22. We don't see it on television, but way more players consider quitting than what we know about. Hopefully they aren't doing ugly Boston Rob cries circa heroes versus villains, but as it turns out, there is a common point in the game where this happens, and the producers have to convince the players to keep pressing on because they say it gets better.
It's like day 6 or 7, they will suffer. And they'll usually, in an interview, when we sit them down to do interviews, they'll tell the producer, man, I'm really struggling right now. I'm starving. I'm missing home. And usually just talking to our producers, and they tell them, you're not alone. Everyone goes through this. This is the bottom. tomorrow's going to be better. And man, the next day they're like, I'm in to win.
Wow.
And they leave going, greatest thing I've ever done.
Number 23. Thankfully, television does not have a way of letting us smell things. That would be disgusting, especially when watching Survivor, because we would have the beautiful smells of Fiji combined with the horrid smells of the players. Jeff explains what their stench really is like in some very descriptive detail.
What's weird is that they smell consistently the same. And you would say, there's a hint of campfire, which is kind of cool, right? It's the cat pee that's been in the gym locker. And you went over Christmas break and then you came back and you opened the locker and went, oh my God, I left my...
There's the smell.
Number 24. This next secret is only cool if you care about seeing all of the crew working on the show when they are usually off camera. It is insanely cool to me to see how many people there are. And while I have been talking, you may have already gathered that you are getting a rare glimpse of them working on the first immunity challenge of this season. Number 25. Aubrey went from being a fan favorite and co-wrong to having contracted some sort of social plague, because in Game Changers, we hear from multiple players how they had no desire to work with Aubrey, and that includes Debbie, who was on co-wrong with her.
In Game Changers, I knew that we couldn't, because that controversy surrounding Michelle's win over Aubrey and the way it was edited was just... It compounded her maybe feeling cheated, because then it was validated by 50 million comments out there on the internet. So I think that she became valid in her feelings of being ripped off, and she knew I didn't vote for her. So no, I did not think that we could work together.
Number 26. Cirie got epically screwed at the final 6 when Advantage Geddon knocked her out of the game, despite not one vote being cast for her. It wasn't even like a rock draw situation where at least she would have had a chance to change what happened. Here, she just gets screwed by production having too many active advantages at once. But let's say that didn't happen. Who would have Cirie taken to the final 3?
Ideally, I think I would have went with like Sarah, Michaela, Aubrey. I would have even gone with you and Aubrey. I would have, I just feel like may the best man win. At that point, we all have our stuff, Cinderella.
Number 27. In an interesting video from ET Canada, they take some ideas from Reddit and pitch them to Jeff for Survivor. And while I think pretty much every one of them is garbage, there is one that Jeff seriously considers that I truly hope that they never do. Don't get any bad ideas, Jeff. We don't need them.
Will we ever see a season split by political beliefs? Survivor, Republicans versus Democrats.
I like the idea a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's really interesting. I don't know if we'd call it Republicans versus Democrats, but I like where they're headed.
Number 28. After Sarah won, she spoke to her Cops R Us buddy Tony, who said, "Wow, Sarah, that win was impressive, even more than the one I did in Cagayan." And I'm wondering if you all agree. Is her win more impressive than Tony's in Cagayan?
I am so proud of the way I played. Good. I called Tony immediately when I got home, and I'm like, listen to this. And he's like, yo, bro, no way. And he's like, Tony, I copied your game. And he's like, yo, Sarah. And he says this. He's like, but you did better, because you did it with returning players.
Number 29. Do you recall a few secrets ago when I said no one wanted to work with Aubrey? It probably didn't help that Game Changers was filmed a mere week and a half after Co-Wrong finished airing, but Aubrey really wanted to play with Sandra, and Sandra said, no way, she can't stand Aubrey.
Day one, I went up to Sandra, and I was like, I get the impression that you want me out. And she's like, you're good. Maybe you should have won your season. So and there are 4 of you here. So, nah. She made it pretty clear that she was like, nope.
I can't stand Aubrey. To this day, I really can't sit down and even talk strategy with her because I don't even want her here.
Number 30. When players go to the bathroom, do the cameramen follow them? The answer is yes and no. It makes sense when Jeff explains it, but I feel like the solo bathroom rule could be very beneficial if you needed alone time to think, or if you want to do something very sneaky.
But here's the rule on going to the bathroom. If you go alone, you're good to go. If you go with somebody, we're going.
Number 31, Jeff and his blue shirts. Name a more iconic duo, I dare you. Well, as it turns out, Jeff doesn't buy them this way. Apparently, all the way through 2016, his shirts didn't even come in that color naturally. He had to dye them.
Here's the funny part. I was in Hawaii a couple of years ago, and this guy comes up and he goes, hey, I work for Columbia. I think you might wear our shirts. And I go, yeah, we do. And I go, by the way, no offense, man, why aren't you guys doing something more interesting? Because these shirts are so drab and they're gigantic. Just this year, for the first time in maybe 5 years, we decided to get some new shirts. Columbia now has Survivor Blue.
Number 32. Remember when JT gunned out Cirie in Heroes vs. Villains when she wasn't even targeting him? Well, they never really resolved that beef apparently, because here we are, 14 seasons later, and Cirie is actually the one apologizing to JT to try and make a working relationship in this secret scene.
Yeah, we good. I never did anything for you. I didn't come for you last time, and I ain't coming for you this.
Number 33. Maku Maku is the name of the merge tribe this season, but where did that name come from? And who designed that beautiful flag?
You guys like Maku Maku?
You like Maku Maku?
That's pretty. It's a conglomerate. It's a blending of Nuku and Mana.
It is a bad spot. Haley designed it.
Well, I think we can all finally agree that Haley is now a game changer. Number 34. This next secret is something I think we all see across both of Zeke's seasons. Who Zeke gets along with is very much hit or miss. Love Zeke or hate Zeke, it all depends on the other person's personality, but for Andrea, she doesn't care for him.
There's a lot going on.
I actually thought maybe we could have a conversation, but he's so smug and he's so condescending. You know, there's stuff you don't know, Andrea. There's stuff you don't know. Of course there's stuff I don't know.
Number 35. Ready for a he said, she said moment? Well, get ready because there is no footage of this in the secret scene, so who is telling the truth is up to you. First, we see Brad complaining because Michaela says, why are you looking for an idol when he claims to be looking for coconuts? But then we hear Michaela's side of the story, which has Brad up in a tree looking at something, and then when she does talk to him, he bolts away like a cartoon character. That's the way she describes it. So who is telling the truth here? As it turns out, it doesn't matter, as Cirie is the smartest one in the room when she observes that even if Michaela is right, calling out Brad like this in the open is the wrong move for her game.
Michaela is nuts. You can't tell a grown man who's already pissed at you to go fish and feed you. So she done ruined it now for the rest of us. I don't think he's ever going to fish again as long as Michaela's here.
Number 36. At the Final Four, talks are happening between Sarah and Troyzan about what they will do if Ty sneaks in and wins immunity. Sarah obviously wants Brad voted out, but Troyzan is unwilling to do that, and Sarah just lays on the waterworks, which is actually a brilliant social move.
If Ty wins immunity, you either have to vote me or Brad out. He don't need the money. Troy, I need the money. Troy, I can't have more kids because I don't have the money to.
I understand.
But your friendship's more important.
No, hold on. Time out. Sarah, please don't think like that.
Number 37. In the television advertisements leading up to the premiere of this season, some players were given nicknames. Who gave these out is a mystery to me, but I wanted to show you them and see if you agreed. Number 38. JT was voted out of the game for a multitude of reasons, but he could have saved his hide with the idol that he found. However, he left it at his camp. But why? Why would he leave it there?
Could have gotten my idol today, I just didn't. I didn't make the long track back up to the top of the mountain because I didn't want people to get suspicious and I didn't think I needed it. I made a very, very foolish mistake.
So here's a better question after hearing that. Why is it hidden so far away from everyone? Why not keep it semi-local so it isn't a hassle to retrieve and you don't feel like you can't go get it for tribal council? This just seems like some poor planning and I actually expect more from JT. Number 39. Sandra is so pleased with herself that she not only outlasted Tony and JT, but also by doing so, it ensured that she is still the only two-time winner of Survivor at this point. And hey, I will say her prediction on when the next two-time winner of Survivor will happen is actually way more correct than she realized.
Thanks to me, I will continue to be the only two-time winner as I got rid of Tony and I got rid of JT. So unless they have an all-winner season, there will never be another two-time winner except the Queen.
Number 40. After being voted out, Sandra hates pretty much everyone who is on her tribe, except for one person, and I will say that Sandra must have some remarkable perception abilities.
A woman will take this. I hope it ain't Cirie because I hate her. I hope it ain't Aubrey because I hate her even more. You know, when I hate people, I truly hate them. I honestly, from the bottom of my heart, would like for Sarah to take it You know, I don't have no issues with her voting me out or whatever.
Number 41, Haley becomes the first and so far only two-time mayor of Ponderosa, meaning she is the first player to be the first jury member twice. At Ponderosa, she's by herself, so she takes advantage of this recent storm that had happened in Fiji at the time and creates a piece of art from a bunch of junk that I'm guessing requires looking inside of the box, which the camera never does, and I'm sure there's not enough light in there for the camera to do so, but I still thought this was pretty cool.
So this is the final project. The visual stuff that I've been working on the past couple days is inside. It's called Perspectives, and it's so different from what I was thinking a lot of these, but I love that.
Number 42, when Ozzy comes to Ponderosa, he does something that I have never seen in anyone else's Ponderosa videos that have happened in Fiji, at least not from the ones I've seen so far. He goes to the local market with Haley to get some food and ingredients. This is actually incredibly cool, and I wonder why no one else has taken advantage of going to the local market there in Fiji.
Today I decided to come over to the Lutoko market, see if we can find some veggies and fish, make a little something special for Haley and I.
Number 43, Debbie got a nasty infection in Korong, and what do you know, it happens again in Game Changers. That infection's the real game changer here. Though Dr. Joe says this one's a lot smaller than last time, but Debbie says screw it. If I play a third time, then I hope I get a third infection as well. Let's just make the trifecta happen.
Well, you know what? If I ever play again, I hope I get an infection again because might as well live life on the edge.
Number 44, after Michaela's voted out, she says Sarah is playing a foolish game if she thinks she can go to the final three with the guys and win the game. Michaela, I want to let you know that it is Jeff's job to make the bad calls here, not yours.
I feel like Sarah wants to team up with the dudes and try to get to the end. I don't think they're gonna take her though, so if that was her plan, she should get excited about being voted out fourth when she could have been in the final three with me and Cirie.
Number 45, at Ponderosa, every player gets weighed immediately after exiting to see how much weight they lost and to evaluate their well-being. Michaela wants to maximize her weight loss, and this is hilarious depending on your point of view.
I'm gonna tinkle before I get weighed so you can get my genuine weight, Dr. Joe. I don't want to be overweight, Dr. Joe. Can y'all hear that pee? Oh, okay. Oh, that was like 1 pound of pee right there.
Number 46. When Cirie got advantaged out of the game, many fans were devastated. But you know who was really devastated? Cirie, of course. Now, she's in great spirit when the season is airing, but upon her initial exit from the game, you can tell she is in shock.
17 idols in the advantage. I was waiting for the jury to start pulling out idols. Y'all got idols too? I can't believe I didn't get any votes. I got voted out with no votes.
It's crazy that someone could leave the game like that. There were so many idols. It was like a farce.
Number 47. I have reserved the secret for last because it may be super lame for some of you, but for me, this stuff is really fascinating. What I want to see each season is a tour of each camp and how they are laid out, but we may never get that. However, in this secret scene, we see Debbie running to Brad, and with that comes a lot of information about this campsite, which is the same as the merge camp of Winners at War. So which secret blew your mind the most? Comment below and let me know. Thanks for watching, and doubly thanks for liking and subscribing. See you all next time.